The Trump administration just lost another member. Lindsay Halligan is out, and the timing couldn't be more telling. Trump built his entire political brand on this idea that he's unstoppable, that his people are protected, that the law can't touch them. Tonight proved otherwise. Halligan didn't leave because she wanted to. She left because federal judges made it impossible for her to stay. And that matters more than most people realize. It shows that pressure works. It shows that the rule of law still has teeth. We're going to break down exactly what happened, why Rachel Maddow predicted this days ago, and what it means for the Epstein files that Trump promised to release over a month ago. But before we get there, let's watch what Maddow said just days before this all came crashing down.
All right, this involves both a scoop and something to watch out for tomorrow. Back in September, the White House put pressure on Trump's handpicked U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia that he had to bring charges against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Tish James. Trump's U.S. attorney in Virginia quit in response to that pressure. So Trump replaced him with Lindsay Halligan, a White House aide who had never before prosecuted a case. She actually did manage to bring charges against Comey and Tish James for a hot minute before a federal judge dismissed the charges, finding, among other things, that Lindsay Halligan had been illegally appointed to that job, that she was not, in fact, the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. The Justice Department's appealing that, but apparently the administration has nevertheless been trying to resurrect the case against James Comey anyway, and now they have failed at it again. Today, MS Now's Carol Leonnig and Ken Delaney were first to report that Trump's Justice Department has fired now the second in command under Lindsay Halligan at that U.S. Attorney's office because he also declined to pursue the Comey case. And this is maybe not the best time for Lindsay Halligan to be without a second in command in that office because, get this, in a totally different case, a different federal judge has ordered that Lindsay Halligan has until tomorrow to explain to the court why she is still going around calling herself the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia when legally and plainly she is no such thing. The judge has ordered that, quote, Ms. Halligan shall further explain why her identification does not constitute a false or misleading statement. The judge says that could, quote, constitute misconduct and be grounds for discipline. Again, she has to explain why she's still calling herself a U.S. attorney. That response from Lindsay Halligan is due tomorrow.
Halligan never should have been in this position to begin with. She had zero prosecutorial experience before Trump put her in charge of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia. Her entire job was to go after Trump's enemies. James Comey, Tish James. That was it. And she failed at both. A federal judge already threw out her cases and ruled her appointment was illegal. She wasn't actually the U.S. attorney, but she kept using the title anyway. That's the part that really shows you what kind of operation this is. Trump picks people who look the part and do what they're told. Competence doesn't factor in. Halligan fit the mold perfectly. Blonde, loyal, willing to say whatever needed saying. But here's the problem with surrounding yourself with incompetent yes men and yes women. Eventually, they mess up so badly that even loyalty can't save them. Trump promised his base he'd lock up Obama, Clinton, Comey. How's that going? Halligan promised prosecutions. Pam Bondi promised prosecutions. None of it happened. Because they're not serious people running a serious operation. They're performers who fell apart the second they faced real legal scrutiny. And now we know exactly why Halligan is out. 2 federal judges issued orders on Tuesday. They said they were replacing her. They threatened disciplinary action against any government lawyer who kept calling her the U.S. attorney in court filings. That's not a suggestion. That's judges telling the Justice Department they won't tolerate fraud in their courtrooms. So Halligan technically resigned. But make no mistake, she was forced out. The pressure became too much. And that's the lesson here. These people respond to pressure. They're not invincible. They're weak. They fold when consequences become real. Right now, Reps Raskin and Massey are pushing sanctions against Pam Bondi, $10,000 per day. Trump will probably promise to cover it. He won't actually pay because that's what he does. And Bondi might not care about 10 grand a day anyway. Some billionaire will write the check. Maybe someone whose name appears in the Epstein files. But the point isn't the money. The point is the pressure. Courts can force these people to move. Judges can make their jobs impossible. We saw it work with Halligan. Trump wants everyone to think he's inevitable, that NATO can't stop him from taking Greenland, that Democrats can't touch his Justice Department. But Halligan just proved that's a lie. Early in this administration, they defied court orders openly. Christine Nome ignored judges and sent people to El Salvador anyway. They acted like the law didn't apply to them. But something shifted. Now they're backing down. Now they're quitting when judges push back. That's new. That's significant. And it's not just about the big names. Democrats need to go after the lower-level lawyers, the DOJ staffers, everyone enabling this. Eric Swalwell gets it. He's telling Republican staffers and Trump's Justice Department appointees that accountability is coming. If you're helping Pam Bondi defend the indefensible, you will face consequences. That message needs to get louder. Because when you target the people underneath, the whole structure starts to crack. Bondi can't operate if her staff is quitting or lawyering up. That's what happened with Halligan. The foundation gave out. Democrats need to speak the language Trump understands. Intimidation, threats of prosecution. Not just for Elon Musk or Kash Patel or Stephen Miller, for everyone working under them too. Make them afraid, make them quit. Slow everything down until the midterms, when real oversight can begin. Every delay is a win. Trump kept his people in line for years through intimidation. That's the only currency he respects. So that's what needs to be used against him, especially on the Epstein files. We're more than a month past the deadline Trump set when he signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Where are they? Apply pressure, force the issue, boot out more people like Lindsay Halligan. And speaking of Halligan, I promised you a clip that shows exactly who we're dealing with here. Let's watch her defend how slavery gets taught in schools.
Classrooms shouldn't be stages upon which teachers can preach their various indoctrination masquerading as eternal truths.
That speaks for itself. The far-right extremists who show up at school board meetings screaming about white guilt and critical race theory, those are the people running Trump's Justice Department. And Democrats missed an opportunity to brand Republicans this way. Think about it. The GOP wants to control what your kids learn. They want to dictate your lifestyle while refusing to live by the same rules. They want ICE agents breaking down doors, invading privacy, tracking your phone data. That should be the Republican brand. Intrusive, controlling, dangerous to ordinary Americans. And it's starting to sink in. The polling shows it. Republican enthusiasm is tanking while Democratic motivation is surging heading into the midterms. Let's look at the numbers.
Yeah, okay. The answer is that the party that does have a motivation problem is the Republican Party, okay? This, I think, sort of tells the story. Extremely motivated to vote this election cycle. You go back to October of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected. Hello, Republicans led on this measure. 67% of Republicans, or those who lean Republican, said they were extremely motivated to vote in 2024, compared to just 62% of Democrats. Republicans felt like, hey, we're going out for ice cream, like a child going out for ice cream. You come over to this side of the screen, Republican enthusiasm down. Now they feel like they're going to the dentist. Just 50% of Republicans say they're extremely motivated to vote in 2026, compared to 66% of Democrats. That's actually up a little bit. So Republicans are depressed in terms of their motivation compared to Democrats, and very much so compared to Republicans back during the 2024 cycle.
Those numbers tell the whole story. Republican voters felt energized in 2024. Now they're depressed. Democratic voters are fired up. That shift matters. It means momentum is building. We're allowed to take a moment and acknowledge good news when we see it. This fight is exhausting, but wins like this matter. Halligan is out. The courts are pushing back. Voters are waking up. If you want to keep seeing this kind of analysis, Subscribe to the Mac Media. We just hit 50,000 subscribers, and that's because of you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a like on this video. And if you made it this far, drop a heart in the comments. Keep fighting. Don't let them silence you. I'll see you next time.